Coal Mining Amendment Bill be now read a first time. I nominate the Environment Committee to consider the bill. Madam Speaker, firstly, I have to acknowledge my very dear friend and colleague, Honourable Eugenie Sage, who was in this House as an MP for 12 years, as a Minister, Minister of Conservation, Associate Minister of Environment, someone who has always championed our conservation estate and done amazing work to ensure that those places are protected. Not to mention creating huge numbers of jobs and community resilience through the Jobs for Nature. She was here tonight in Parliament and I was at an event, which I'll get to in a minute. But I just wanted to acknowledge that this bill was originally drafted by the Honourable Eugenie Sage. And I hope that all members in this House, particularly those who were at the event tonight, put on by Forest and Bird and hosted by my friend and colleague Steve Abel and Lon Thum, I hope you will consider voting for this bill, because it's a bill that is absolutely essential if we want to have a livable future for our planet. And we've known this for some years. The simple maths on climate change means that we cannot have new or expanded exploration or mining of fossil fuels, particularly coal. And what this bill does is it draws that line in the sand. No new coal mines, no expansion of existing coal mines. The brutal math of human-caused climate change is that we cannot meet the targets that we must meet to get to the Paris Agreement, which all the countries in the world signed up to at the time based on the scientific evidence. You crunch the numbers, you do the math. We cannot have a livable climate if we continue to explore and produce fossil fuels, particularly coal. And we've known that for 10, 20, 30 years. And it saddens me that members in this House who no doubt have children or grandchildren or other family members, and surely they care about the future world that those children and their children will inherit, that they are continuing to live in denial of the basic reality of what we need to do to have a livable future. This evening in Parliament, some of the members here would have seen an excellent documentary that I recommend everybody watch, and that's about the Denniston Plateau. I don't know how many members here visited the Denniston Plateau. I have not had the privilege of visiting it myself, but I was extremely moved by the documentary that was put on tonight that has been produced by Forest and Bird. My colleague Steve Abel spoke very movingly about taking his son, who's 14, to visit this place. It's undeniable, the richness of the ecology there. It's actually a unique place with an irreplaceable part of our natural heritage here in Aotearoa. And I know all New Zealanders have some connection to the beautiful nature of this place. So many New Zealanders are out there spending their time manning trap lines, doing pest eradication, replanting natives, because they care about this land and they want to see nature thrive. And it's one of the things about this country. Now, I wasn't born in Aotearoa, New Zealand, but my children were, and 2 of their grandparents were, and 4 of their great-grandparents were, and everyone that in their family has some connection to this land. And that can't even compare to the connection of tangata whenua. It's part of what makes Aotearoa unique, and it's an absolute tonga that we need to protect. And I want to take the opportunity in this bill to talk about the threat to this incredibly unique place of the Denniston Plateau. What is being proposed, and I believe there's a fast track application is an open cast coal mine. It is total ecosystem destruction. It would strip mine an area the size of 1,700 rugby fields. As we've heard, restoration is impossible. It's like trying to unscramble an egg, to quote the Forest and Bird speech earlier today. How could we even begin to contemplate the destruction of such a precious place in 2025? It fails, as people spoke tonight, the most basic tests. First, the environment test. Denniston is an ecological island in the sky. It is a living museum. The Department of Conservation ranks this plateau as one of the most valuable ecological sites on mainland New Zealand. It's a world of ancient dwarf forests, giant insects, and a kiwi habitat. It is the only home on Earth for the avatar moth and New Zealand's very own endangered giant carnivorous snail. And I know that a certain minister in this government would laugh and brag about causing these species to become extinct. That's how out of touch some of the government members are. They brag and laugh about the destruction of entire species.
Are they going to vote for this bill?
And the government members are probably, yeah, I wish they were going to vote for this bill. So let's talk about the economic test, because that's what's always put up. We say, oh, we have this precious place where life is thriving, a unique place that I would love to take my children to. And rather than letting it thrive, we can't afford, we need jobs, we need money, as if somehow money were something other than a symbol. It's just a symbol. We have resources. We have the ability to produce electricity without coal. So New Zealanders carry all of the environmental risks, but when the truth is we don't, this is all a lie. I'm sorry, it is a lie, this trade-off, that somehow we'll be wealthier if we destroy this place. It doesn't pass the economic test. Indeed, the cost of the runoff from the acidified water as a result of the open cast coal mine costs more for the government to repair than the royalties they earn on the mining. There's a handful of jobs. We can create jobs in other ways. In fact, we need to create a whole bunch of jobs in order to have the transition to renewable electricity, in order to have affordable, warm, dry housing, in order to have sustainable transportation, to have high-quality processed wood products that can be used in structural timber buildings. There's so many opportunities for jobs that are created by the transition to a renewable economy, and that's what we should be doing. So the Stockton mine, which is nearby, I don't know if anyone's visited the Stockton mine, it's already cost taxpayers millions to clean up the mess. So there's a cruel irony in asking a community like Westport, which is one of the most vulnerable to worsening flooding exacerbated by climate change, to look for hope in a sunset industry which is driving the crisis. It's not against the jobs that we have had or professions. It's just recognizing that we need to work together for a future that protects our unique places and creatures. It's a future that doesn't champion a volatile, boom and bust, climate-damaging industry that has let the coast down before. So to quote the Forest and Bird speaker tonight, they're putting a choice to all of Aotearoa. Do we sacrifice a priceless national treasure for short-term jobs, dubious profits that flow to offshore companies and come at the expense of irreplaceable damage to a living museum and exacerbate the climate crisis? Or do we draw a line in the sand and say some places are too precious to mine? And I think that's a very easy answer, and I encourage all the government members to watch the documentary, to go visit the Denniston Plateau, and ask themselves, is this who they want to be in 2025? Is this what you want to be remembered for? Members opposite, not you, Madam Speaker, obviously. Is this what all of us want to be remembered for? Because people will look back at this point in time in 2025 and say they could have made different choices. They could have prioritized renewable electricity instead of prioritizing profits for a coal mining company and then allowing them to destroy this irreplaceable Indigenous biodiversity. We don't have to do it. We don't have to do it. The science and the math says we cannot do it. So I ask government members here tonight to consider voting for this bill so that they can look themselves in the mirror and say they truly did stand up for positive progress, for protecting their children, all of our children, and their children's future, and all of the other life that we share this planet with.
The question is the motion be agreed to. Grant McCullum.
Okay, so.
Yep.
Anything you want to say?
I think, because I've got the link to the trailer and I've sent it to you, I think it's probably best if people get a visual idea of what Julianne Genter is talking about. It's a 2-minute clip, and I highly recommend everyone to go watch the documentary.
Okay, just a moment. Let's flick it over.
I first came up to the Plateau when I was a kid. It was just this incredibly magic environment. I remember exploring it. We had creeks flowing through the sandstone pavement, beautiful waterfalls, swimming holes. It was an idyllic place. If we mine this place, we have nothing else like it in the country, so we lose that big chunk of our geological history, our story. Ultimately, this will be a 25-year coking coal resource, and after 25 years, we've lost the entire plateau forever. All of the natural values that are here now, the landscape, the biodiversity, will be lost. Coal is generally 50 metres down. For every truckload of coal that we would extract, we'd have to extract 5 truckloads of rock. The mining companies often say, what's the problem? We can rehabilitate this place. We can make it look just like it did before. It's like a carpet. You basically take the surface, roll it back, mine it, and then roll the carpet back into place when you're finished. The reality is you can never restore this landscape. It will never look like this again. All of the creeks will be affected by acid mine drainage. The water supplies for all of the local villages come off of this plateau. Many people gather food in the waterways. If we mine it, we'll have 100 years of acid mine drainage where the water is so acidic in places, no life will exist. I think it's a horrific way to treat the whenua, to treat the land. Talking to a botanist before, and she was looking at a lichen species, and it was a lichen species that only exists on the Denniston Plateau, and she burst into tears just thinking about the fact that they potentially might mine this place. You know, we could lose this species when we've only just discovered it. What makes this place so valuable, and what will make it valuable in the future, is the fact that we have untouched natural wild spaces. If we mine Denniston, we're ultimately shooting ourselves in the foot. It breaks my heart to think that we would sacrifice this for so little.
Okay, so now you see what's at stake here, right? Acidic water, right? All the government's 2004 coal earnings were spent treating the impact of Stockton Mine, right? Which is a mine that's just down the road from that, okay? And now they want to expand mining. Look, guys, I drank a lot of sake today, okay? I'm intoxicated, but even I understand that it's very important to protect these ecological sites. We've got the carnivorous fucking snail that lives up there. Look, I know Shane Jones doesn't like snails, right? Probably because he looks like one. Let's be real.
And he ain't French, which means you don't eat them.
Yeah. No, don't eat the snails. Leave the snails alone. But anyways, I know he kind of looks like a snail, but, you know, it's just like they're very, very important for an ecosystem, and you can't get that back. There's so much mycology there. There's like fungal relationships between the rocks. So like also different, very rare types of species that are very specific to that area. Same like lichen, they break down the minerals, and all the minerals gets turned into organic matter and all that wonderful stuff. And basically the coal mining just strips all of that. It just turns it to a wasteland. That's what you got, acidic water. You can't drink that. Do you want your rates to go up? People are already talking about rates caps. Do you want to drink the acid water like you're in Fallout or something?
I mean, this is something that actually has come from Metapika Rokawa Tate about Rotorua. The average pipe life in Rotorua is decreased by waterways, is decreased by 25% because of the sulphur underneath.
Yeah.
Do you want your water assets that deliver your sewage, deliver your fresh water, deliver your stormwater to degrade at a rate of possibly 25%, could be 50%, so its lifespan is shortened considerably?
Do you want your pipes to be smashed by acid in the water?
You know, and if anyone sits there and knows, recently there was the one on their sewage pipe underneath State Highway 2 near the Melling Interchange was in a alert period for at least 2 years of it could collapse any time. And it carried all the sewage from Upper Hutt to the Seaview treatment plant. You know, that sat on there, and they had to time and find the right period where they could shut down the road or shut down a part of the road so they could sit down there and repair the pipe and put a bypass pipe in for the sewage for the 2 weeks that the repair was getting done in. Yeah.
I mean, look, I've got another report here that level of contamination not known in about 70% of West Coast sites. A lot of them are ex-mining sites, right? We don't know the level of contamination there. We don't know how much cancer is in the water.
Yeah. So,
46 kilometers of asbestos cement freshwater pipes. Yeah, yummy. Love that.
for those who are wondering where the Denniston Plateau is,
Yep.
okay, so I'll just show this up on the screen. Okay, so it's in the Ballots headquarters.
I don't live there. I just live up the road. See, you can see Ikitahuna there, right? It's up there.
Okay, so we go across the Cook Strait.
You
see
on the ghost ships. Don't forget, we're going over on the ghost ships.
Yep.
You know boats.
You've got that that mayor called Nick Smith.
Yep.
and then you head over to the Westport, and it is off a lovely State Highway 6, and the Denniston Plateau is by a town called was it Waimangaroa?
Yep, Waimangaroa.
Yep. So that is where the Denniston Plateau is, and it also has the historic. As a historic site. Now, if we look, by looks of what's coming on that Google Earth there, it sits there implies it might have been a cable stay for the mines.
Look where the river flows, though. It's going straight into the town.
Yeah, it goes straight into the town and straight into the
ocean.
Tasman Sea.
Yep.
So if you sit and get that, you're on State Highway 50, was it 56? No, 67. Sorry. Please ignore, it's not near Palmerston North, it's near Westport. So that is effectively, where it will be happening. It's quite a bit of a trek. Now, if we go back on here, you can see some of the images that actually show,
yep,
wagons, all sorts of things. So I wonder if Denniston Plateau was the one that had the cable stay for the coal wagons.
Probably. I'd have to look that one up. I've never been down there myself, but I do know one important fact. Yes, there's great coal down there. No, it's not worth mining up.
And Huntley Power Station cannot process it.
No, because they process subbituminous coal, and that's bituminous coal. That's the type of coal that you export overseas to be processed into steel. Steel demand here in New Zealand is down because the construction industry is cooked, and also because we can't really export a lot of that because a key transport route, the Tawhai Tunnel, has collapsed. So,
are you talking about the one that from between Westport and Stillwater?
Yeah.
No, that's been fixed.
Oh, they fixed it. Okay, all right. Well,
no, that's been open a little while. It has been fixed, but it did cause problems for 6 months while they rebuilt it.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So the coal that everyone's been talking about, and we're going to see that in some of the other speeches too. The coal that everyone's talking about for energy production is not this coal that they're talking about mining up. This is the coal that you use for stuff like steel and iron. It's really good quality coal, but we don't really use it here in New Zealand. We export it. We don't use it for... This is not the stuff we're using for energy, guys.
Yeah. Okay, let's get on.
Thanks for watching. Make sure you're subscribed to our Facebook